that's come up in time or two?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. We've got a working model in Franklin County, Massachusetts. Franklin County, Massachusetts. Again, not one of my groups I'm familiar with. We've got a biodiesel component to their operation.
And how does your organization get involved in a project like that?
From a couple of ways. One is sometimes as a straight lender. You know, Big LISC has a loan pool, and we're able to amass monies that are lent to us that we relent. We've also got some sources of capital that we can do pre-development sorts of activities. So it's an idea. I've got a dream. Is it possible? Don't know without doing the due diligence, the phase ones, the engineering reports, the studies, and that kind of thing. We can provide money, what we call a recoverable grant, which is basically a zero-interest loan that's forgivable if the project is not made. So we won't penalize folks for trying and failing, but we also say that if the project makes, we want our money back. So, yeah, so we would do it that way. And then, but again, we also do. We don't have long-term money, so we don't do permanent financing, but we can do acquisition. Mostly we can do conventionally it's a 3-year term. If we get a little creative, which I'm working on right now, it's taxing me, but the guy down in South Line wants to do what we call a mini-permanent. He wants to do a 12-year. He wants to buy some apartments that there were tax credit deals that now come to the end of the 15-year compliance period. So the major investor wants out. What happens? So he wants to sell them back to the nonprofit now. Nonprofits like, we'd love to have them, but all this deferred maintenance, we can't afford it. That's where we can find some long-term money. So we could maybe go out 12 years, at least as far as amortization, on a 7-year term. So we could do stuff like that. So we wear a lot of, I call us, we're the Oakland Raiders of the whole thing, because we, all of us have been around long enough to be able to have to do, and able to do a lot of things.
Are there any particular entities that you cannot work with for whatever reason? You're limited? Government entities? Sounds like nonprofits. Absolutely,
Big LISC, I call it Big LISC and rural LISC. Major LISC is urban oriented. We have these centers around DC, New York, Philly, LA. We're in the smaller communities. Our model is we say we only work, we primarily work with folks in our partnership who are nonprofits. But we are able and will, particularly when the deal underwrites well, we can lend directly to a nonprofit, to a for-profit. Okay. Straightforward, as long as it, underwrites. And what we do say though is, I just got a call from a director while I was eating at the tower down here earlier this morning about a logging company in North Florida, for-profit, that wants to get some of our new market tax credits, and that's straight for-profit. And the idea is that will happen, but for our rural partner objecting. So I got to make a call to say, please don't object. So yeah.
So any nonprofit organization can become a member.
Right. Right.
And that's how does that arrangement? Is that like a?
It's like an affiliation. What I passed out here is what we are able to do now. We've sort of, because of our the financial meltdown, we've lost half of our staff, so we're not able to actually affiliate anybody else right now. But we're getting better. The sun is shining, and the light at the end of the tunnel is not a train. It really is not. It is light at the end of that tunnel. And so we're able now to say, here's what we call, it's not even a second set of groups. Subscribe to our rural newsletter. Get all the information everybody else is getting. And at some point, being involved in our activities, perhaps even coming to our seminar when openings do come, and they will come, then we'll be able to explore that. Let's see, I'm sorry, it's so disjointed here. All the plans, let's go down and think. But I think the main points of this, communities themselves know what it is that they are confronted with. They are somewhat aware of the challenges, but may not be aware of all the, and they know their resources, they may not be aware of all the avenues. So we might come in, say, with a different perspective. I'm not so deep into all the intricacies, the internet and sort of things here. Step back, have you ever thought about looking at it this way? And they'll say, no, we never have. Why? I don't know, never has been done that way, but try it. Look at it this way at least. And so that's what we do. We come and bring a different perspective, and then we're able to bring expertise and some money to the table to help it work.
Sure, SAFE was able to collaborate with the Federal Home Loan Bank Board as a result of a connection through LISC. So that's a McDowell County nonprofit that never would have had any chance of making that contact without LISC. And so from that standpoint, those contacts with some of the larger foundations where LISC was very, very helpful in helping us pull some of the money together that we did. SAFE started out as a domestic violence advocacy group in McDowell County, West Virginia. It's now serving in domestic violence advocacy, 3 counties, Mercer and Wyoming as well. But in addition to that, we've built several hundred units of single-family and multi-family housing as a result of our doing that. SAFE went on to take over the management of some failed projects, rehab them, again, with some funding and some technical expertise and some help from LISC Bank and other contacts. So that's one example of how LISC has worked here in the state. I know the Elkins group has had similar effects or similar experience with their transitional housing, that sort of thing.
Yeah, thank you for that. Because sometimes I fail to realize or say that when you look at nonprofit intermediaries across the country, we are on the top. We are one of the biggest. You know, most people know about NeighborWorks America, heard of the Enterprise Foundation, maybe the Housing Assistance Council, but and LISC clearly is when we talk about things in Washington, we talk about things across the country, the foundation connections, people listen to what we say. And it's very humbling to be able to be a part of that. I was telling somebody, I didn't know at the time, see, it's funny when I was at a meeting of the Federal Housing Finance Board a couple of weeks ago, sitting around the table and somebody said, where do you work? I told them Rural LISC, and we got to talk. I said, you know, I love going to work every day. They said, really? I said, man, it was a woman. I said, yes, I just love it. I said, I get up in the morning and I'm eager to go to work because the people I work with and for need so much what I do. And the woman said, oh, really? She kept eating. She's the Senior Vice President at BB&T, who happens to have just been appointed to our governing board. I had no idea. There you go. You think I did?
Good job.
Good job. Yeah, nice.
From your perspective, maybe like Martinsburg, many of the issues that you mentioned, even though we're on the cusp of the DC SMSA, and we're getting all this growth from 81 that's coming down the interstate, but how do you go about helping? What's the first thing you say to a community? If you want our help, you need to do blank. For example, we have a Main Street program here. Do you work with the Main Streets and help them focus on helping to redevelop the community? Is that one of your approaches, or do you create new nonprofits, as Matthew was asking?
No, again, from our model, we would work with the existing nonprofit and maybe be able to come in and do some, if they were not a member of our group, a member of our family already, try to figure out somebody close enough to say, could you sponsor perhaps an activity that's going on here? People often call us and say, well, you know, I'm a nonprofit, I'm in X state, I'm not a member of your family or CDCs, but I really need some LISC help. And again, we make this the documented thing. I'm saying, let's go to a group that's already there. You know this group? Yes. Any problem with them? Hopefully, you know. And we'd be willing to vouch for the fact that they do good work, and we might be able then to extend some assistance to that group as well. We've done that in Indiana and Illinois.
So in the state of West Virginia, for example, just as a hypothetical, you're working with
SAFE, and Highland Community Builders as well.
SAFE seems to be able to move to other counties. Is it a possibility that SAFE could have an office or a program here in Martinsburg for how, because we have a need for, we have a CASA program which is very effective, other things. Maybe there are opportunities here. Would SAFE then be able to help build housing for mothers and children that are in abusive situations?
That would be a totally internal deliberation, you know, on the part of SAFE Board.
But theoretically, yes, that is a way that maybe an organization here in Berkeley County through an affiliation with the Elkins folks or with McDowell might be able to find a way to connect with LISC and initially, if I understood it, initially maybe through a partnership or a sponsorship with one of those organizations, grow this relationship with LISC, and eventually as openings are available, again, realizing West Virginia is not your portfolio, but as openings come on, move to an independent relationship.
Absolutely.
That's a
So I was thinking more of saying I couldn't make a decision, you know, couldn't direct them, but yes, that's what they work out.
But from a hypothetical standpoint,
Yes.
and I'm not sure. Well, Sharon's retiring. She might be
She's
interested.
retired, and I know Sharon is, oh gosh.
Can you work across state lines?
Can we, yes.
I mean, like if there was one, and you mentioned Barrett County, Maryland, that's close to Alton.
That's a possibility. I mean, again, some of these decisions would be subject to their, you know, board approval, but I don't know if they could work, but they could say, well, we know that group and they're close enough in our geographic footprint to,
Do you have, does your website have a list of all the groups and what they do around the country?
Yes. What you would do is go to, it's www.lisc.org, right? And then you would navigate through to the rural buttons and banners.
Does the portfolio of services available from rural LISC include funding? You mentioned big LISC, urban areas, funding of rural.
We have the same, we're actually the same loan pool.
Okay.
So in other words, our loan pool, but we just work a little, our model is a little different. I mean, urban, like for instance, DC, I share offices with DC LISC, and they were down the hall. They work only in DC. So they have like 15, 16 groups in DC they work with in several neighborhoods. They're more neighborhood oriented, again, where I work all over, that's that, you know, I'd love to be able to talk more, but I want to, you know, if there are any questions, I'll ask them, but I know you've got a time limitation.
We're running out of time. Last question or two?
But where does your money come from? Where does LISC's money come from?
Come from a lot of different places. Again, a lot of our money comes from private lenders, from private sources, foundations. You know, some of it's we access federal programs as well. Some CDF, the best money we've ever gotten has been from the Treasury at 2%. God, I love it. But anyway, it's running out now. Yeah, so different sources, and we do get some private donations as well. For the large part, we arbitrage. We borrow at this and we lend at that, and hopefully we can make some money on spread.
Bob, I appreciate it, and we've got a gift here for you. A set of cards from our photographer, Mary Jo Bennett, who's in the local area. So this is local Berkeley County art. So thank you for being our speaker today.
Thank you very much. And anybody's in the booth, let me know. I might want to try to find a farm somewhere around here.
There's plenty of farmland.
That's a growth industry here.
I'm also amateur real estate.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I love Jim.
Nice things. Thank you. Thanks for coming out. Where's your office in DC?
If there's anybody that needs to catch me up for lunch, I'm available.